Hey, I'm Dr. Charles P. Winston, Young Elders Butler, a regularly featured guest on the Young Elders channel about extraterrestrials. I have years of research into the ancient astronauts and ancient technology from your distant past and future. We will be unlocking the mysteries of tachyon energy in this amazing video. Ever heard of tachyon energy? Don't worry, you're not alone if you haven't. First theorized in the 1960s by Earth scientists, but has been known about by the Anunnaki and other advanced level races for millions of years. Tachyon energy stems from quantum physics, a field that uncovers the fundamental aspects of matter and energy. At the heart of quantum physics is the zero-point field, ZPF. Think of it as a sea of background electromagnetic energy, even present in a perfect vacuum. This field is considered the source of everything in existence. And radiating from the ZPF is what we call tachyon energy. The word tach and on is there. Tach means to pin or appoint, and on as in the sound om. The word or sound om is the primordial sound of creation. It is the original vibration of the universe. From this first vibration, all other vibrations are able to manifest. 144,000 octaves, which are different levels of vibrational frequencies. Each octave radiating on its own pitch, emanating from the source. An octave is the interval between two musical notes that have the same letter name but different pitches. The note higher in the octave vibrates twice as fast as the lower note. Out of the 144,000, humans can only hear 20,000 of these pitches, while the dog can hear 60,000 of them. Tachyon energy emerged from the black dot. Tachyon is the source of all, and the all was and is. Tachyon energy is unique because it's faster than light and has no frequency. Unlike other energies, which are limited to specific frequencies, tachyon energy is raw and primal. Might sound crazy, but tachyon is non-existence or nothing. But keep in mind, no thing or nothing is still a thing. Non-existence is still existence. So therefore, there's only existence. In music, tachyon is the rest. A rest in music is a period of silence in a piece of music, or a symbol that indicates that silence should occur. Rests are just as important as notes and are used to create rhythm and memorable melodies. Keep in mind, silence is still a sound. A lot of this might go over your head. Tachyon is that which exists in between the tick and the tock in time. Tachyon energy is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's not confined by the usual rules of physics, allowing it to be highly adaptable. In holistic healing, this energy is believed to interact with our personal energy fields. Imagine you have an ache. By applying a tachyonized material, your body converts this undifferentiated energy into the exact frequency needed for healing. But why is tachyon energy so special? It's because it taps directly into the zero-point energy, the very source of all frequencies. While other healing methods work within specific frequency ranges, tachyon energy encompasses them all. Furthermore, tachyon energy cannot be influenced by negative thoughts or emotions. It maintains its purity, making it a potent catalyst for self-healing and free energy. The potential applications of tachyon energy are vast. From mental power to physical health, it opens doors to new realms of healing and unlimited power. A tachyon was a subatomic particle that naturally exists at faster-than-light velocities and can often be associated with time travel or produced as a byproduct of a temporal distortion. Tachyons exist both naturally, as in the tachyon streams such as those found in the universe, or can be produced artificially, such as in tachyon detection grids and temporal transponders. They can also exist as the byproducts of the use of many technologies, such as cloaking devices and transporters. The speed of light, also referred to as light speed or the warp threshold, is the velocity that light travels in a vacuum. This constant, usually denoted c, is exactly 299,792,458 meters per second, or 186,282 miles per second. A temporal distortion is a warp or fracture in the spacetime continuum, which can oftentimes be associated with the phenomenon of time travel, but also capable of destroying a starship if they were too strong. Temporal distortions can often be detected via tachyon particles, which are created as a side effect. Time travel is having the ability to, or the act of travel forward or backward in time, thus breaking the seemingly irreversible flow of time. The study of this phenomenon is one of the focuses of temporal mechanics. Alterations to historical events can cause, among other things, alternate timelines and realities. Alternate timelines were altered versions of the timeline. Unlike parallel universes, alternate timelines often did not seem to diverge from the universe, but instead rewrote history to the point of wiping out the original timeline. However, alternate timelines did sometimes coexist as alternate realities. Tachyon streams were naturally occurring streams of tachyons found throughout the universe. Although normally unnoticed by spacecraft, these tachyon streams were capable of propelling a solar sail spacecraft to faster-than-light speeds because of their large surface area-to-mass ratio. A tachyon detection grid was a technique developed by the Anunnaki as a means of detecting cloaked reptilian warships. The grid used active tachyon beams transmitted between different starships or sentry posts to create a tachyon field. Any cloaked ship entering this field would be exposed. The Anunnaki used this technology in the pyramids and in many other devices. I take a lot of questions about what is tachyon energy, which makes a lot of sense because not many people know or have heard of it. It only started being described theoretically mathematically in the mid-1960s by Earth scientists. At RISC-Tech, the Rizkians have had this technology for millions of years. Quantum physics is the study of matter and energy at the most fundamental level. It aims to uncover the properties and behaviors of the very building blocks of nature. While many quantum experiments examine very small objects such as electrons and photons, quantum phenomena are all around us, acting on every scale. Now, in the recent years, the recognition and widespread acknowledgement that all of what the humans recognize as physical existence all arise out of what they're calling the quantum field. It's also known as the zero-point field, and it is the source of everything in existence, and more recently they've discovered that radiating out of the quantum field is tachyon energy. The zero-point field, ZPF, refers to a concept in quantum physics describing a ubiquitous background field of electromagnetic energy that is present even in a perfect vacuum, meaning it exists even at absolute zero temperature where all other forms of energy should theoretically be absent. It is essentially the lowest possible energy state of a quantum field, containing tiny fluctuations of energy known as zero-point energy. In India, it is called the Divine Mother. Christianity calls it the Holy Spirit. The Anunnaki refer to it as the All. And in many modern, New Age spiritual teachings, it is called cosmic energy. Modern physics calls it zero-point energy or free energy. At this point, it is important to understand that zero-point energy should not be confused with a particular form of energy, such as etheric or astral energy. Zero-point energy is formless. It is the source of everything. So 9 ether exists within the All, but is a sum of 9 gases, while the zero-point has no sum. All realms of the subtle energies are just parts of the energetic continuum. Another name for the zero-point or tachyon energy is neutronium. Remember, I taught about this on the Journey of the Mothership Nibiru tape series. Element 0 refers to an element with an atomic number of 0, often called neutronium, which would be composed entirely of neutrons and have no protons, meaning it wouldn't exist on the standard periodic table as currently understood. It's a concept of non-existence. According to quantum mechanics, even in an empty space, there are still quantum fluctuations happening, leading to the existence of the ZPF. So that would mean that there's no such thing as space because space is always filled. Vacuum energy, the energy associated with the ZPF, is called zero-point energy and is considered a property of the quantum vacuum. Observable effects. While the average Earth humans haven't directly found out how to extract zero-point energy yet, its existence is theorized by Earth human to contribute to observable phenomena like the Casimir effect, where two closely spaced plates experience an attractive force due to the different distribution of ZPF energy between them. Important considerations. A human theoretical concept, while well established in quantum theory, The ZPF remains a theoretical concept and its full implications are still being investigated by Earth humans. Potential applications: some researchers explore the possibility of harnessing the ZPF for energy production, but this is highly speculative and faces significant technical challenges, let them tell it. The truth of the matter is that the dark space program has zero-point energy from Ashtar Command, the reptilians and the Hitler agenda through Project Paperclip since 1945. Another thing you want to understand about tachyon energy is the connection with the linear graph. Once you understand the linear graph, you will understand the alkaline and chakra charts. Linear graph is represented in the form of a straight line. To show a relationship between two or more quantities, we use a graphical form of representation. If the graph of any relation gives a single straight line, then it is known as a linear graph. The word linear stands for a straight line. The linear graph is a straight line graph that is drawn on a plane connecting the points plotted on x and y coordinates. If you go left or down, you go to -9. If you go to the right and up, you go to +9. Each of these squares created becomes a reality, hides the many screens in the matrix when Neo went to go meet with the architect. On the chakra chart, the heart seat, green light or chakra, is the center seat for the light body. It is the 0 point. The heart uses tachyon energy, they say. It's a non-voluntary and that it can function without the brain. There goes that word again, none. Keep in mind, non-voluntary is still voluntary. The truth is that tachyon energy is keeping your heart beating, and the other non-voluntary organs going as well. Your heart is your 0-point reference. A linear graph is the graphical representation of a straight line going out in 4 directions, coming out the black dot, which is the 0 point. It showcases a linear equation in 2 variables and shows the linear association between 2 quantities. In the center of the graph is a black dot. The dot Nagut is the point of origin of things, the first sum. The first cycle was a dot in the universe. Then that dot became a line. The line became a wall. The wall became a square. The first dot split like a daughter cell into 2. The second dot formed the circle by completing 1 cycle around to itself. None knows, save itself, where the circle begins and ends. Then it began to spin, to form an orb, and thus 360 degrees of square and 360 degrees of circle. The circle was turned inside out and placed within the confines of the square. This was accomplished by first dividing the circle into 4 parts. Geometry was created and dimensions were formed. Geochi and metry, measure. There had to be a point of starting. This would have all the galaxies crunched together into a small space. This would have been 76 trillion years ago. The small dot or Nagut exploded, and this was called the Big Bang, resulting from the expanding then collapsing of the universe. This sound is ka, which disturbs the Ayun tone of the original. This caused the explosion of positive low-pitched tones, dark tones, and negative forces, high-pitched tone, bright tones, causing the negative and positive forces to clash into each other by the will of Alyun El, who is outside of your time zone. Your time zone is second to second, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. Yet each day of your days is 1,000 years to Alyun El's day, making it hard for you to understand just how Alyun El exists. For the pure sound of AUM, which predates the bang, is covered in the chaos of creation, and you must seek this tone, AUM, to realign yourself. Each individual born vibrates and has a tone within an octave, and there are various octaves to complete the full scale of sound, and sound vibrates from conception to decline to end, which registers it in time. Each individual has a 0-time reference and tone reference and vibrational level. Yet you exist all in what's called set time, which exists within real time. That is each individual's real time, their point of origin. All hearts do not beat like a metronome at exact beats per second. Sound flows and is utilized, cut on and cut off. Life flows and is utilized, cut on and cut off. Alyun El's time does not have a then, only a now, whereas each individual is at the point of now and looks back at multiple thens and looks forward to multiple thens. Thus, on both sides of present, you find past and future. That was at the very beginning, not the beginning. The time El Wagut, LASR, it says in El's Holy Garun in the 13th degree, which has been changed to the 183rd degree, verses 1 through 3, pertaining to the time when the Enoshite's soul will be squeezed from his body and is overcome by death. And the squeezing of Enoshite's soul, it will be squeezed from his body. Surely this is the age when the Enosites are overcome by defeat, except for those who are faithful and work to perfect their being and are advocates of patience, by the measurements of time when it begins and when it ends. To humans, your reference of time began at the recreation of this planet, then called Tiamat, to Chi, and now Earth, from Eridu. Time does not move forward, nor has it come from behind, it has always been. Time does not ascend upward, nor has it descended from above. Time is now, now is the time. Time is, then now is not then. According to quantum physics, the material universe is nothing more than a very dense form of energy. Everything that exists in this universe, from the most subtle, refined realms of energetic structures to the grossest, densest realms of matter, is aligned in an energy continuum. Energy flows constantly from these highly refined, subtle realms, starting from the causal or supercausal world, as it is referred to in yoga teachings, and moving down through the astral, etheric, electromagnetic levels, and finally into the material realm of existence. Everything that exists on Earth exists within its own energetic continuum, our bodies being a perfect example. In addition to the material, physical body that we perceive with our senses, we have several other layers of energetic bodies. Through all these layers of energy, an energetic continuum flows from the highest, most refined, subtle bodies down to the material body. The energy flowing through the energetic continuum comes from one source. So, our focus here is on the tachyon energy itself, because that is what has been demonstrated to provide a method of unlimited power, healing, and it is a method of healing that uses this non-frequency faster than the speed of light energy source that is called tachyon energy. And the reason it's so radical is because it has no frequency. I mean, everything else we're familiar with has a frequency. All the other healing modalities we're familiar with has a frequency. But tachyon has no frequency. Therefore, it is a raw, primal energy of the cosmos. The way it works with helping heal the human body is that our own human energy field, our personal energy field, will convert this undifferentiated source of energy that is tachyon energy into the frequency it is most needing at that time. And only our own personal energy, Phi knows what that frequency is with tachyon energy. You just say, hey, I've got this tachyon energy product, why don't you place it here, point it into this part of your body that's hurting, and let's see, and then you can tell me later whether it helps or not. We're relying on the intelligence of the body itself, the intelligence of our own personal energy field, and that is priceless right there. Tachyon energy is an energy associated with tachyons, which are particles that are thought to travel faster than the speed of light. More on what are tachyons? They are called pions. They are smaller than the atom. In fact, they are what the atom is made of. Tachyons are particles that always travel faster than the speed of light. They would accelerate as they lose energy and would require infinite energy to slow down to the speed of light. How did the term tachyon originate? The term tachyon was first used in scientific literature in 1967 by Columbia University physicist Gerald Feinberg. Physicists believe that tachyons are inconsistent with the known laws of physics. For example, Einstein's theory of relativity states that as an object's velocity increases, its mass increases. This means that objects with mass cannot travel at the speed of light. What might tachyons be used for? They could be used to send signals faster than light and into the past. This would violate causality and lead to logical paradoxes. How might tachyons be detected? Tachyons might create a glow in empty space, similar to the Cherenkov radiation that can be seen around nuclear reactors. What is tachyon energy used for in holistic healing? Some people believe that applying tachyonized materials to the body has positive healing effects. Tachyon energy is the very first energetic structure that emerges out of non-structured, formless, zero-point energy. Just like zero-point energy, tachyon is not limited to a certain frequency. Tachyon cannot be measured in the Hertzian frequency spectrum. It is not a certain type of energy, rather it includes all energies within itself. Its qualities are much like zero-point energy, varying only in that it is a structured field. In itself, tachyon energy has stored all the potential needed to create a perfect energetic continuum in every individualized form of life. Everything that transpires in the human body, for example, is already encoded within tachyon energy in perfect form. An excellent example of this is seen in the animal kingdom, where it has been observed that animals not influenced in any way by human beings live completely healthy lives. For example, mammals have a lifespan that is up to 7 times their growth period. For a human being, that would mean 140 years of perfectly healthy life. Of the 40,000 chronic and degenerative diseases known in human medicine, only a few are known to exist in wild animals. This is because wild animals do not have the ability to block the energetic continuum. In nature, we find perfection, and such is the character of tachyon energy. The information that tachyon energy contains is inherently perfect. The only thing we need for achieving health and balance in our lives is a freely flowing energetic continuum. In other words, we need to become superconductors for tachyon energy by allowing it to flow through all the layers of our subtle bodies. As this energy flows into our material cells, it completely organizes the entire metabolism in a perfectly balanced manner, which is the way we are meant to function. If any layer of the subtle body system is blocked, energy will not flow freely down into the next grosser level. From that level onward, there will be significant deficiencies of energy. Blockages in any of the subtle layers prevent tachyon energy from flowing freely into the material body. This is why so many diseases are co-influenced or co-created by blockages in subtle bodies. This also explains why our psychological state affects our physical body. In fact, the emotional and mental bodies are so subtle, they do not directly interfere with the physical body. Since the flow of life force information to organize our metabolism also has to flow through the mental and emotional bodies, there is an indirect influence when these bodies are blocked. Significant blockages eventually create physical disease. This information is the basis for the creation of many different frequency-oriented energy systems. We know of photon energy, crystal energy, magnets, orgone energy, light acupuncture, radionic devices, photon lights, and electromagnetic and sound therapy, all of which are used as a means to bring about balance and healing. Of course, all of these energy systems work well, as they all have the potential ability to remove some blockages, to remove stagnant pockets where energy cannot flow freely in a certain layer of the subtle body system. However, energetic frequency therapies in general have 2 limits. One is that all these energies are limited to a certain frequency, for example, between 16 and 32 mu-meters, mu-million. This is a certain spectrum of the auric field of our subtle body layers, and provided we have blockages between 16 and 32 mu-meters, photon energy, if applied correctly, can help. But what if our problem is not rooted in that spectrum of frequencies? What if our problem is mainly an energy blockage in the realm of 35 to 50 mu-meters? Of course, there might be some small benefit from applying photon energy by indirect influence, but the problem will not be cleared. Photon energy, then, is something that might help a little bit, but it will not really take care of the problem at its root. So, we know that, just like photon energy, all subtle energy systems that are used for therapies have this one big limit: they only work on their specific frequency. The other limit is that the effect of any particular frequency is determined by the nature of that frequency. Photon energy, orgone energy, or electromagnetic energy, for example, can help, because each has certain characteristics that forcefully affect the human body to move into another direction. However, if we don't need this particular specific frequency, such energies can also be harmful. Orgone energy can heal, but orgone energy can also make you really sick. It requires knowledge and experience to use these subtle energy devices safely and correctly. Tachyon energy is totally different to all of these. Tachyon energy is not a certain type of energy, but rather includes all energies in itself. Whatever goes wrong in our physical body or in the subtle bodies can be corrected by applying specific information for that particular process. This is possible through tachyon energy. For tachyon energy is the gateway back to zero-point energy. All frequencies are just part of the whole, part of what is anchored in the zero-point energy. But all frequencies are limited in their specific effects. Tachyon is totally non-specific. Tachyon really doesn't have any effect in and of itself. What tachyon does is give our organism, our body, our subtle bodies, the chance to produce whatever effects they need. And since our bodies are incredibly intelligent, they always produce the effects that are good for them. The two limits that we find confining all other forms of energetic medicine just don't apply to tachyon, because tachyon energy is not limited to a certain frequency. Another important difference between other subtle energy devices and the energy that they use and tachyon energy is that tachyon cannot be influenced in any way whatsoever by any other form of energy. One's own thoughts and feelings can influence all other forms of subtle energies that are used in energetic medicine. This is due to the fact that below the speed of light, energies have something that is called the gravitational pull, which make energies attract each other so that they stick to each other. This, of course, creates influence, changing and altering the energies in their specific effects. Tachyon moves beyond the speed of light, so it has no gravitational pull, and it cannot stick to anything or any energy, and no energy can stick to tachyon. No matter how bad our thoughts are, how low our emotional content is, no matter what kind of negativity we produce in any form, it can never alter tachyon energy and its ability to give us access to the zero-point energy. So potentially all problems we have, mental, emotional, spiritual or physical, can be positively affected by tachyon energy. Another wonderful aspect of using only the source energy is we do not have to deal with unwanted side effects. Even if we apply so much energy to parts of our organism which want to have a very strong, very quick balancing effect, and other parts don't quite catch up, this won't be a problem. It sometimes causes detoxification and reactions that for a very short time may feel overwhelming, but there will never be a negative outcome. It doesn't require that much knowledge and experience to apply tachyon correctly because the body is in charge of the process anyway. We do not forcefully apply it for a certain specific effect, but we rather let the body produce its own healing effects. Tachyon energy is simply the natural catalyst for this self-healing process. So, next time you hear about tachyon energy, you'll know it's not just science fiction, it's science future. Thanks for watching. If you found this intriguing, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of quantum wonders.